Hi and hello and welcome to the Royal Rumble preview. I, of course, am Fred Slow. Alongside me is Saleh Taylor. This is going over, and we are excited to be here with you on a Saturday morning, a Royal Rumble Saturday morning. How great it is. It's going to be, it's so funny. As the show starts, we have the live chat up, pre-recorded on Friday night. That's January the 31st for a Saturday morning, February the 1st, the Royal Rumble morning. And from Infamous right away, it's going to be a Royal Rumble for the ages for sure. And I agree completely. Saleh Taylor, welcome.
What's good? What's happening? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, all of them good things, all for you.
Your microphone is booty, so I'm going to be carrying the program tonight.
It's all you, man.
That's so funny. The Royal Rumble is like 15 plausible storylines, right? The Royal Rumble it's got a world of direction in front of it, and I'm excited for it. You know, I want it. I want to, at the end of this one, just not know it's going to be LOL Cena wins. You know, it's going to be hopefully as good as anything that we've seen. I don't know, last 10 years, 15 years. Like, it's been a long time since I've not known who's going to win the Royal Rumble before the Royal Rumble.
All the possibilities, including more. Remember last year they had to adjust, and please forgive my mic again. But yeah, even last year they had to adjust on the fly. So anything even more so is possible.
Do me a favor, Saleh. Go to your settings, change your input to your laptop mic, and we're just going to slum like it's the early stages of COVID, and you're doing a Zoom meeting because that bad boy is no good. You keep your headphones the same, you should be able to hear me.
Yep.
Oh, look at that. We're back to life. So, it's the funniest part. We're like low-key audiophile guys. Like,
yeah.
I've been in radio forever. You have been in music forever and entertainment. When we started doing this show, going over the real show, our audio production for Duke City Championship Wrestling, like, it is as important as anything in the entire world to make sure it sounds right to the ear.
It's one of those things. I like working in film and music. It doesn't matter how good the picture is. If you can't hear it, you're lost on it. So I understand the irony of me saying that, but I appreciate the patience.
Also, you still got that pop right there. So I think what we're going to do for the live audience is we're going to press pause and start the radio show over, which is perfectly fine. Your shit is shit. Like, there's something super
bad. What is up, man?
So you have the right microphone settings on the input, right?
Yeah, it's back on the MacBook now.
All right, so USB audio is on the MacBook. So I wonder if it's just me. I would think it's not, but let's try something.
It shouldn't be.
All right, give me a talk now.
Testing, tasting. 1 2 1 2. We're still live, baby, but we're not on the radio now. We're just shenanigans right now.
I'm putting in the MacBook speakers, which I never use. This is so funny. All right, so you sound
tasting. Still bad.
Oh my god, yeah, it's terrible. All right, try it now.
A B C D E F G H I J K.
I guess my desktop speakers aren't even connected.
How's it sound to everyone in the chat right now? How do I sound?
You know what? Hey, you know what it might be? Yes, I can see. Yes, I can hear Saleh's issues, obviously. You know what it might be, Saleh? I'm thinking out loud. Turn your input up on your microphone input.
Let's see.
So, like, go to your interface.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, here's Radio 101 on a live stream in front of an audience. This is so funny. So anyway, so I got you on my MacBook speakers, and you're like a whisper on there. So there's a strong chance that I
have it pushed. I have it pushed up.
Not on my.
Yeah.
All right, try it now.
A B C D E F G H I J K.
You sound terrible. You're the most. Hey, I got an idea.
Yeah.
Is your USB audio adapter USB-C?
It's a USB-C 2 times for my Mac. Yeah.
What is your iPhone?
I get the latest. Can't keep count. We'll try another adapter though.
That's what I'm saying. What if we go off the iPhone? From the live chat, they're loving this. Oh, and now you froze. This is perfect. Also, like the little bit that you have me on mute if you try to talk. The little bit that I know about pro wrestling is not measurable to what I know about radio. Like this is the one thing I'm low-key an expert in. All right, so you don't have your audio input correct on StreamYard. I almost wonder if we just mess around. You do like, when's the last time you like reset your MacBook? It's been a minute. No, I can't hear you. You don't have the right input. What I could do is pull you up. I don't even know where my cell phone is. And I got lots of text messages that aren't you. Oh, this is the best here. Hey, that's the guy from Matlock. That's a funny one. Now, hey, don't think I won't do this thing solo without you, because I swear to God I will. You know how much solo radio I've done in my life? Like not a lot, but like a fair amount. Hey, is there anything better than trying to watch Saleh read? No, you don't have the right input picked. If you can hear yourself, it's because you don't have it in StreamYard. Go to settings, go to audio, go to mic, pick the right mic. No, you've not done that because no. I'm telling you didn't do it. I can only imagine how it was when your people discovered fire. Oh, okay, you're going to text. That's it. All right, you're going to call. Here we go. For every minute that you don't figure this out, I'm going to put your one number of your cell phone on the internet. This is my plan. It's starting right now. Now you got it muted. You're never going to get anywhere in life with this approach. I think you're cooked. I don't think you're going to get it. Because now I think it's your laptop. Because when you circumvented the interface and that microphone still sounded like ass, like that's definitely not the interface. Oh, I'm excited for this. All right, try it now.
Can you hear me?
Oh, that's so much better. I mean, it sucks because it's a cell phone. Okay. It's bad.
It's horrible.
I'm into it. It sucks.
It's a good kind of sucks up.
So what's up? Do you have like AirPods?
Not here.
Where would your AirPods be if they're not near your phone?
Somewhere else. Because I'm everywhere.
You want to do a walking tour of your life? Is that the plan?
You have no idea, man. Let's see.
Okay. All right. First, would I even fit it in your house? Look how low your ceilings are.
Yes, you actually you don't. You're lurched here. You're totally lurched.
You still have Christmas lights up? What year is it where you live? Is it a
it's
month?
Good light.
I'm going to say we go with this, and it's going to be terrible, but I'm into it. Oh, good. And your phone froze. You know how I know your phone's froze? Because on the other one, you're not frozen. This is perfect in every way. I say we don't even do the show. Here, let's put this up here. We'll put you where you're alive. Here, we'll put you over here where you're covered up. And I'll go down here because I'm the only one worth the stuff. Try talking, see if it comes through. No, nothing. This is so embarrassing for you. We're living in the future. And the thing you need, like the tool you need, is right here, like sitting in my house.
I was on the wrong Wi-Fi.
Now your timing's super off.
This is so weird. What did I look at?
Now, hold on. Now, here's where it gets interesting. So, do you think your MacBook was on the wrong Wi-Fi and that's why I was struggling? Because that would be the weirdest explanation of all time. Try talking. Oh, you're not going to talk. You're just going to ignore it. So, there's nothing there. I tried from here.
How's that?
No, it's bad, but it's way better than what you had.
I'll take way better.
All right. Well, I'll go super heavy on this and you just laugh and everything I say. Jesus Christ.
Thumbs up. Absolutely, Oprah. I'll Dr. Phil this. Yeah, bro.
That is so funny. I'm ready when you are. You ready? 5, 4, 3, 2. Hi and hello and welcome to episode 60 something of Going Over. It's our Royal Rumble preview. I, of course, am Fred Slow. Alongside me is Saleh Taylor, and his microphone sounds terrible, but he's going to live with us throughout this one as we preview what I believe to be the most open-ended Royal Rumble in at least the last dozen years. Saleh, welcome to the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what you're going with. That's the comeback on this one.
I'm here so I don't get fined.
Yep, not wrong at all. Oh gosh. So we're gonna have a lot of fun with it today. We're gonna talk a ton about the Royal Rumble because the Royal Rumble at the time of terrestrial airing is tonight. We are recording on Friday night, the night before. Today's the 31st, but we are airing on the 1st, and we are excited for this one. I will be at the Royal Rumble, so that is a lot of fun. How fortunate I am to often get able to go. You have a bunch of bookings this weekend, so you're super busy. You're not out there with me. But it's going to be a good trip. Give me your opening thoughts on the Royal Rumble, my man, and maybe talk a little bit about what it is, at least from your perspective, for fans who may have lapsed.
Well, anything is possible. That's one of the key things of Royal Rumble that's become more clear. Last year, they were trying to kick off a storyline that totally did not go over well, and they had to make an adjustment. So literally, we won't know what to expect for another month, I'd say.
Yeah, I think you're in the right direction. I don't think you're right. So it's because there are so many options with where they're going and where they've been that it could be any way, right? Like how deserving this fan base would be to get a CM Punk, John Cena WrestleMania main event kind of thing. How deserving would it be for this audience if it's a John Cena, Gunther, like chance to beat Ric Flair's record? Like how deserving would it be? You know, and we can just keep like going through. And as you try to find, you know, the best possible outcome, you end up finding like a ton of really good outcomes.
Anything. Well, I love that. There is a big chance that like how many more WrestleManias can CM Punk get? So this might be the one to push for him to have that main event, so he can put that under his belt.
Yeah,
But that's the only thing I could see. Maybe a triple threat: Cody, John Cena, and CM Punk. That'll be fun. Or fatal four way with Drew McIntyre.
well, and he's a conversation piece too, right? And the thing about CM Punk is CM Punk has never won the Royal Rumble. He's never main evented the WrestleMania, and he could do both in the same year, you know, and how fitting it would be, at least in the arc of story that is WWE, for CM Punk to steal the shine off John Cena in his final summer. You know, take like shades of 2011. You know, there's a lot of that history throughout the industry that could be revisited, and maybe you could recapture that emotion for a young fan today.
Do you think this year's run will be for the young fan? That's the big question.
New fan, you know, because with TKO and with Netflix and with the worldwide everything, new fan for sure. You know, and whenever new fan comes in, you want to give them simple concepts. You know, you want them to have opportunity to fall in love with the entertainer of their choice, and you can do that with good versus evil, and those complexities of anti-hero and those like Kevin Owens style things, like you keep those for the established fan, but you don't immediately expect for newest fan to fall in love with a guy that doesn't look the traditional part, that doesn't play the traditional character, that doesn't have that kind of approach to the world of pro wrestling.
That would actually be a great approach for anything. But I do see them having to focus on the new fan because especially since they go on Netflix,
Mm-hmm.
they got to get as many eyes in as possible. So they have to figure out a way to bring them in and keep them there. So the yeah, once again, anything's possible.
Yeah. Well, and if you have missed as of recent, there's been a lot going on. Cody Rhodes, quote unquote, finished the story last year. He did that at WrestleMania when he became the champion. The two bloodline stories over the summer kind of carried the WWE through right now. Gunther took the championship at SummerSlam, so he's holding that. There's all kinds of opportunity moving forward for these stories to branch. Also on the women's side, it was a little not hot potato, that's not the fair word, but it's been a little driven with only championship chasing storylines, be it the women's tag or the introduction of the new titles, and you haven't had a ton of interaction between these characters outside of I want your belt. Like that's kind of been the only story for the last since SummerSlam, I guess. Definitely
Yeah.
since the move to Netflix, so a month. And that is the thing I think it's kind of slowed down their stories. And then lastly, it's been a little bit of a hot potato with the men's tag. So this is a really good way to kind of establish, at least for 2025, what it's going to end up being for the WWE as how these stories branch off of just the goal of being champion.
I think for the women's division, they had to like add value to the belt as much as they can. So
Mm.
yeah, a lot of title chasing, a lot of the tournaments that went down. Great work by every single one of them that went in there because that added, I'd say, like more value to the titles. But now they could slow down. They have the upper card, they have the high card, titles, they have the mid card titles, and now that gives everyone more of a chance to be seen. But I just like you or what you're talking about. I would love to see more stories without titles. There's a lot of grudges out there. There's a lot of there's a lot of heat going on back there. So that gives the women's division an opportunity for more people to be seen coming out in the next few months.
Yeah, and with the creativity of the stuff that's not stories, right? So with the creativity, for instance, of the New Day, with the creativity of them bringing in their family from the outside, they don't necessarily need that championship push at this moment. I think a lot of Gunther's stuff is very good against Seth Rollins, but I do think it's championship based, obviously, and I think if all goes right by my predictions, which we'll give you throughout the program, you're not even going to end up with those two fighting at WrestleMania. That's going to be an elimination chamber thing before. That's going to be a whatever to kind of navigate through getting to a title opportunity, which I believe the elimination chamber now grants that. They kind of change the rules all the time, so I don't super know. But you're going to end up in a spot where if John Cena is victorious in the Royal Rumble, he's going to obviously pick Gunther, and then he's going to be triumphant over Gunther, and that's going to be the 17th and tie breaking over Ric Flair. And then, from there, Gunther's going to have to spend some time with the Drew McIntyres, Seth Rollins, these guys, because there's no one at WrestleMania to fight Cody Rhodes except for Roman Reigns again.
Do you think that, or do you think they will give? I wouldn't mind seeing a fatal four-way with Drew, John Cena, as well as CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. It's been a while since we've seen a fatal four-way in a WrestleMania main event, but a lot of times they don't go well. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see that back.
They're not just hard to wrestle; they're hard to broadcast.
Yeah,
they're they're hard to put on TV. They're hard to shake out in a way, and I don't like that. But I know in person, because I've been so fortunate to go to so many of these over the last several years, that when you're there, it's kind of just for the crowd in attendance. The live event is fortunate to have a TV around it, but I feel like they at least at the big four, I don't think the Raw is this way. I don't think SmackDown is this way. I think those are TV products. But at the big four, it may be big 5 if you count Money in the Bank, and maybe big 6 if you count Elimination Chamber, and maybe big 7 if you count Saudi Arabia. The at that list, it's for the fans in attendance.
That actually that makes sense, but and it'll be fortunate enough, as you say, being part of a product, you have to balance
Yeah.
what's being done live and what we can show on TV. And for those who are tuning in, they can only pay attention so much for a split screen,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But I'd say with good direction, they could be organized chaos enough that when it's paced out right, if it's going to be a main event, it's going to be like 45 minutes of a match. Like they could do them just right and get that get that chaos locked in just right.
I think the night is going to go Women's Royal Rumble, WWE Tag Team Championship, Undisputed WWE Championship, and Men's Royal Rumble match. Is that your opinion, or is it different?
I could see the women's starting off the show.
Yeah.
If they want to shake things up a lot and have the men's Royal Rumble start the show, that would be insane. But I don't see that happening. But them usually started like just how they did with the Survivor Series. The women's match kicked off the show, and then championship, then the men's match. I could see them following that formula again.
I don't know old girl's name that does the ring announcing, but if she were to come out and say, "This is the 2025 Women's Royal Rumble," the crowd will lose it. They will love that. And then by the end of it, they'll be a little tired, right? Because those Women's Royal Rumble matches, they'll have some good spots, but it's not necessarily the most sustained thing throughout. So you immediately go to the tag team because that 2 out of 3s with DIY and Motor City Machine Guns, they're going to, it's just spot. The crowd's going to lose their stuff. And I don't think you finish the night out with the championship ladder match. I think you give Kevin Owens a chance to lose, which I think you will, which will give him a chance to go into the Royal Rumble, because I do believe Sami Zayn will somehow become involved in that, and then you can continue their story into the Royal Rumble.
You know what?
As I write it in my own head.
And that flows well and it makes sense. And I hate it when you make sense. But one of the cool things that we can look forward to, at least for the women's, there's going to be a lot of debuts. By the way, there's been too many people declaring themselves that they're joining, that they're going to, compete in the Royal Rumble. It takes away from the whole, surprise thing.
That you're making a good note. At the time of our recording, it was 10 on the women's side and 15 on the men's side, leaving 20 spots open for the women, 15 spot open for the men. But you are right. There's been a gigantic conversation. Wherever that clicking noise is terrible for the radio.
Yeah, sorry. Fixing it.
Fixing the clicking noise?
Yes.
It's an interesting audio medium whenever you are distracted from the task at hand.
It's a beautiful thing. That's me embracing my ADD and try to weaponize it. There we go.
Not for me. I don't need it for me, and neither does the listener at home. When we get back from the break, we're going to jump into the Royal Rumble matches. We're going to open with the women's, have a lot of conversation about that, see some things, talk about some things we'd like to see. And then after that, we'll wrap up the program with the men's. You're listening to Going Over on 95.9 FM and AM 610. Sports Animal. You need to set up whatever that thing is?
I already did.
Okay. Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to Two Men On, or excuse me, that's my other show, Going Over, where I, Fred Sloan, with Saleh Taylor. We're talking about the Royal Rumble coming up tonight. That's going to be a lot of fun. I am in Indianapolis. You are in Albuquerque. It is all over the world on Netflix. It's going to be a goodie, and I believe a could be anything which is exciting for me. Charlotte Flair is an easy plug and play option for WrestleMania matches. It's not hard to pick her to win the Royal Rumble. It's inevitable. She's going to fight Tiffy Stratton at this point. It makes too much sense to pass up. This is a easy path for her to get there. Also, it feels a little bit like a passing of the torch with what Stratton is going to be. So recognizing that Flair can be around as long as she wants to be around, I do think it's a Charlotte Flair Royal Rumble to win. What's your opinion?
I know there's going to be a spot where we're going to see Charlotte Flair face to face with Jade Cargill in the middle of the ring. There's going to be a moment right there. Jade's going to come back. They're going to have a moment, but I do see Charlotte wanting to pass the torch to Tiffany. Tiffy, it's going to be Tiffy time.
Yeah.
They're going to have a little run. But this feels like the women's Royal Rumble is going to be centered around Charlotte's return. I'm excited about that.
I do think you're going to get an interesting start. I believe the start will be Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. I believe it'll be Charlotte Flair number one, the exact same way that Ric Flair came out to number one, I think multiple times, and Becky Lynch number two. And I think your final four will be Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Lyra Valkyria. I think that might be like your final four. And then from there, it'll end with the two that started it, Flair and Lynch. And then it'll be Flair victorious. But, look, there's always something weird. They got to get Becky Lynch something to do. So don't be surprised if it's a Nia Jax who was eliminated on the outside or whatever.
The little pull. Honestly, I would love to see Julia, even though she's the NXT Women's Champ. I would love to see her. They're going to probably do a little test, see how the crowd reacts to Julia. That would be a cool thing to see. But there's a lot of cool things. I could see that Final Four. And shenanigans will come about.
Yeah, shenanigans is what you have to be, because it's been, at least in my opinion, done so poorly recently, a pursuit of storylines that aren't, I want the title in the women's division. So I think you use this as a way, and when's Elimination Chamber? First week of March or something. So I think you use this as a way to start building that 6-way or 7-way or 8-way or however they do that thing, Elimination Chamber. And then from there, branch off some stories. I do think the payoff at WrestleMania is going to be Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan for they. So you're really talking about limited options, which is why I think they introduced, so many women's titles. But see Charlotte Flair victorious at the Rumble so that she can call out Tiffany Stratton, and then that's the business, in my opinion.
I actually, I hate agreeing with you, man.
Yeah,
but that's a good way to book that, I'd say. I keep forgetting it that there's another month between. By the way, WWE not coming to Albuquerque or Rio Rancho Event Center during their Road to WrestleMania run. That just means that they're selling out more houses with more seats, and I don't know how to feel about that, man.
I have some inside baseball on that, which I can give you off the air. But just know that right now, and this is like super deep cut pro wrestling stuff, like super deep cut. In the state of New Mexico, it is difficult for promotions, specifically out of state ones, to come to New Mexico. And currently at 60-day legislation, which is what the state is in, there are recommendations in place through House bills. And if that stuff goes through, you were looking for a July 1 change. And if that July 1 change hits, which I mean, I don't know what everyone knows about bills. I'm about to bore the stuff out of people, but
I'm just a bill.
Yeah. So it gets presented in the lower house, and then it obviously goes in front of a legislative committee. It is then after it's written, it's then rewritten, and then it's voted upon. And then if it's passed, it goes to the governor's desk. They have a decision to sign it or not sign it. If they sign it, depending upon how the verbiage is, it's usually 30 days post the signing date, or it's the first of the fiscal year, which is July 1st, or it's the first of the calendar year, which is January 1st. My understanding is this would be 30 days post signing if it is signed. And if something comes in, with recommendation, then it usually gets signed. That's not a perfect science. but I know that the bill that would bring back WWE, AEW, TNA, NWA, like I know the bill that would do that is currently being drafted. Doesn't have a House bill number yet, but it will, and it'll be a big deal, and I will be up there.
That is good to know. Got a little bit of the politics things too, man. There's a lot
Well,
going
and
on.
I have like a whole nother walk of life that I don't talk about in the pro wrestling persona. You know, the entertainment stuff I love. I love the radio show. I love this stuff. But you know what I do for a day job, and I spend a lot of time. Like I had breakfast with the governor this month. You know, like I had like this, like that's part of my life. Like and if you want to get changes made, first of all, New Mexico, this is a side note to any pro wrestling stuff. New Mexico does two things better than any other state I've ever lived in. Two. Number one is spectacles. The New Mexico Bowl and the Balloon Fiesta and the Big Enchilada and the State Fair. People come from afar to take in the spectacles that New Mexico offers. And then on top of that, number two is access to your leadership. Your House, your Senate, your legislators, your governor, they are at arm's length from you and your community, and you can reach out to them and they will hear you. And I know discretionary funds are so very important, but if you have a cause or a goal in your community that you want to reach, you find your city councilman, you find your state representative, you talk to them about it, and I promise you, because this state is flush. I cannot stress that to you enough. This state is so flush right now with monies that if you present a viable option, idea, or plan to help people in your community, it will be a green light, and you can make that thing happen. And that is the two things this state does best: spectacles and accessibility of our leadership. It is top tier.
That is good to know, actually. Fred, it's really good to know. We got more things to talk about off the air.
All the time.
So as we're talking about going back to the women's Royal Rumble, I could see that as the same thing. Charlotte going towards Tiffany Stratton, going like a passing of the torch, Blondie to Blondie. That will be an amazing match. But then you have, could be the final of Rhea and Liv. That could be the thing.
No, that will happen at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
There'll be big showings. Liv Morgan's not in it because she has a chip, but she's going to be involved. It's that thing. Io Sky, Nia Jax. Nia Jax will eliminate the most people. And her go over spot will be really good. I think Bailey's doing a thing with that gal you like, Roxanne Perez.
Yeah, I like her.
Yeah, so see them make sense at the main event, with the main event at the Royal Rumble. And then with the 10 names in, I mean, the list of who it could be is gigantic. The list of women entrants that could jump out would be cool. If you give me some legacy people, you give me a Trish Stratus, and she has a moment with, I guess she's not in the thing, so it couldn't be Tiff Stratton, but maybe Mickie James. Mickie James would be really good. There's like just some people. Nikki Bella has been talking about it a time recently.
With the signing of Jordynne Grace, being welcomed even more so warmly. Last year when she made her debut, that was too much of a shock, and a lot of people didn't know. I can't wait to hear the difference between last year's pop and or this year's pop. Jordynne Grace has been an amazing presence, who's now signed a multi-year deal with WWE.
Hey, my mistake. Liv Morgan is announced for the Royal Rumble. Also, that Jordynne Grace thing last year, I was in Tampa when that happened.
Yeah.
Number one, the venue was rough. The venue was too big. It wasn't set up for success. And then whenever she showed up, the crowd didn't know her. I was there. And I didn't know her. It wasn't a deal from the live chat. Tessa Blanchard. I hear everyone hates her. I don't know if that's true.
There's a lot, bro. She got in Texas. She got a "she's a racist" chant in Texas. Just lean in on it. Be a heel. work it. You're getting reaction, lean in on it. But that would be a big reaction itself, I'd say.
I think it's Charlotte Flair. You think it's Charlotte Flair. I think Elimination Chamber, because you have to have Liv and Rhea. So Rhea has to win the Elimination Chamber. And then you have Charlotte Flair, Tiffy Stratton. That's your deal at WrestleMania. And then the new 2 undercard belts that they have, those could end up in a fun battle. I think Becky Lynch will get a shot at one. The tag stuff, I think that's where Bianca Belair is going to live for a little bit because her and Naomi are buying a lot of matching gear. You know, that's always like a strong indicator. You remember when Chris Jericho and AJ Styles had a T-shirt for 2 minutes for no reason? Like that stuff super works. Yeah, but that's
sold.
That one day, and then they took it off after that. But no, that's my prediction on that. It will be good. It will not be the highlight of the night. The last couple times the women have had a chance to be show stealing, whatever, they've not been it. Which has been I think a disappointment for fans in a sense. And I'm really only talking about the big ones because I'm only at the big ones. Like I couldn't tell you about, you know, every mid card match on a Monday or a Thursday or on a Monday or a Friday, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
We'll do the Royal Rumble men's side. Whenever we get back, it's going over on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to Going Over. I, of course, am Fred Slow. Alongside me is Sally Taylor. And from the live chat, Ian Knight wants to sign. Yeah. Is he talking about the Royal Rumble? That's probably what he's talking about.
So, Ian Knight, are you declaring yourself?
Yeah, just
for the Royal Rumble. Wow, man. Can't wait.
Before we talk about the Royal Rumble, it is funny how those kind of things come up. I think we get via our social media daily several pro wrestlers that want to come out and do some Duke City Championship Wrestling, and that's awesome. It's super awesome that they reach out. I give the same response every time, which is, hey, send your stuff over to, and I put our booker's email address. And I know a lot of them do. You know, I know it goes over there immediately. We have monthly meetings on this stuff. Like,
I love that.
Yeah, if our booker sees your stuff and he's like, hey, this is good stuff, like we sit down as a group and we say, okay, like number one, are they available? Number two, can they do 3 shows? Because we do TV, you know, so we have to have like a story arc that makes any sense. And then lastly, like how close do they live? That is the business. And then also there's an establishment with like talent that like is already in story. So that's like a big deal too. So like when a guy reaches out to us, like Ian Knight, for example, I'm familiar with his work. I've seen his stuff. Whenever a guy reaches out, he's like, hey, I'm in. It's almost like, and I'm not saying you got to like pitch your pitch, you know, but it's almost like, hey, I'm in. And by the way, I can juggle. And by the way, like, because that stuff is the thing, right? Because we got a bunch of guys who can really, really wrestle, you know. But it's like if you come in, you're like, hey, I do this. Also, I'm like the best singer you've ever met. The deal, you know.
I'll be the judge of that.
You're like, hey, I'm here. I can rip a guitar. Bet. Like, we don't have that. You know, it's like, look at here's our current roster. Like, you cannot come in as an evil magician. We already have a magician. Like, hey, I'm a creepy clown. Here's the thing. We have a creepy clown. We don't now listen out.
Hey, I wear black.
Oh man. I could not be more over guys. Like I go into our locker room, I look around, I go, everyone's gonna wear black? The whole damn thing? Like we don't. There's a click on your end, Saleh, that is worse than anything I've ever heard. But that's it, like put a little color on it, boys. Like let's get that. Let's get a rainbow something. Let's get a bright something. Let's like, hey, you're a good guy. Let's create those colors. That's my deal. But they don't. They just want to wear black. Like, oh, okay.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
Basically what you're saying is whatever makes you you, pitch that as well.
Pitch that thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey man, I'm really good. I did it. And it's so funny because you get like these applications and they're all really good wrestlers. Like I cannot stress this, but it's almost like Chat GPT writes all the emails for them, right? So it's like, hey, I have my name is so and so. I'm from this place. I have TV ready gear, and I'm like, okay, I'm in. Like all these things are good. Like let's keep going. And then it's I wrestled a 30-minute match. Well, I know you did. Everyone did. Like give me the thing where you're like here's a good example. If you're like, hey, unicycle, deal. I can't find another guy who unicycles. Like, hey, I make balloon animals. Deal. Like, we will work that into a thing. Like, those things are the things that go. Also, I'm only one voice in this thing. So when I'm saying all this dumb stuff, like the rest of the ownership group is like, I don't know. We literally hired a guy 2 months ago because he was Samoan, because you needed a Samoan partner. Like that's how this industry works. Like you could be the best wrestler in the world, and it's like it's just not the fit yet. Like, and we go back every month and look. So anyway, so guys like Ian Knight, who, like I said, I'm super familiar with, keep it coming because like we will call. Like we will absolutely call. Like it doesn't fit in today's story, but that doesn't mean it doesn't fit in the story in April. Like that's how this stuff works. At least I think. That's how it works.
Well, that's why you have an owners group.
Yeah.
Where everything's a conversation, everything's a vote, but you gain perspective from that. The various voices that are there and various perspectives that are there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a brilliant thing about it.
Well, and then we do a bunch of handoff stuff too. Like if you get a call from like a local promotion, like if like SPCW or someone calls you, like more than likely we like, hey, look at this kid's social media, look at this guy's stuff, look at this lady's work, and it all comes full circle. Also, and here's like a thing for guys like Ian Knight who took the time with us tonight. By the way, thank you, Ian. Like super nice. The guys like that, there's some legislation going through. Like once that changes, like the kind of the barriers that are there, they subside substantially, and then we can do, battle royals. We can do a lot more stuff than what we have historically done.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, which I'm excited about. Equally excited am I about the men's Royal Rumble.
Segue. Yep. Nice.
I got you. It's not my first
Good
time. The men's Royal Rumble should be as good as anyone I think I've seen in a dozen years. I don't know who is going to be the winner. And that's a crazy sentence. I don't know. I think I know who's going to start it. I think it's going to open with Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That would be fun, right?
Yeah.
They tried it last year with Jimmy and Jey Uso, and it fell flat. It was bad. This year, I think it could work with the Mysterios.
And then Penta next.
How good that would be, right? Because for the really, I don't know what term to use here, smart pro wrestling fan, everyone knows Rey Mysterio is the best luchador ever to do it. If you say otherwise, you're just trying to be edgy. Penta, who used to be Penta El Zero, who used to be a whole bunch of stuff, I think he's the best one to do it that hasn't got the notoriety. And if you give those two a chance to have a standoff or a whatever in the middle of this, that'll be a cool moment.
And it'll be great for them to work off of Dom, Dirty Dom. Just those two just showing off. That honestly, starting off high, and also it depends on who has the most over, the hottest entrance right now. That's who's going to go in first. And right now, I'd see Penta going in first. His entrance is beautiful. It's great. And having the whole crowd just yell Sado Medo.
Yeah.
Medo. Like that would be, I just butchered that, by the way. Sorry, I'm a different kind of brown girl.
You don't know about that. The story will be, because you need Mysterio and Penta to wrestle at WrestleMania. The story will be, he does something to Dominic. Like Penta does something to Dominic, and Ray has a moment where he's like, "You're not me. Like you're not. I'm dad. I'm Dominic's dad. Like I have to fight you." And it keeps them both like face on face, but with this interesting like dynamic of, I'm not fighting you because I hate you. I'm fighting you because you threw my kid out of the Royal Rumble or whatever, you know. And then he can do his little dance and do all this stuff and be super sweet. But that's how you get those two guys to WrestleMania, and those two guys will fight at WrestleMania, no doubt.
That's gonna have to be a match.
Yeah.
Who? All right. I talked about how in the women's Royal Rumble, there's got to be a spot where Jade Cargill and Charlotte have a little face to face. Who do you see having that for the men's? Having a moment in the middle of the whole chaos.
I mean, obviously, I already said Rey Mysterio. Obviously, I already said Penta. You're going to get a CM Punk Seth Rollins one. I think that'll be good. You're going to get, because Sami Zayn interferes and ruins Kevin Owens' chance at the championship earlier in the night with the ladder, you're going to get Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens in a stare down deal, because those two are going to fight at WrestleMania. Like that's 100% going to happen in my opinion. And you tell that story here. So I think you'll get that for sure. Finn Balor, Damian Priest. I mean, there's just a couple of them that are going to pop up.
I can see that. That'd be fun. Who's going to... I don't remember many of the men's having legends or debuts last year.
No, it wasn't great. You know,
it was a bit of a letdown.
Well, and you know, forecasting this one, and I know you like him a lot. I'm not overly familiar with him, but the Joe Hendry, he will make an appearance.
Oh God, yeah. That's right.
If I'm crossing my fingers on a guy, it's The Rock. But your final four are going to end up being John Cena, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. Like it's going to end up being those four guys at the end. And if there is a God in the observance of pro wrestling, John Cena and CM Punk, final two, you know, the conclusion, you know, the final chapter of the conclusion to their story. I believe John Cena will put CM Punk over, and they will fight again at some point, I would guess, because he's going the whole year. He's not just going to the Royal Rumble, John Cena. But that is how I feel. And then lastly, fun stats. And here's a good one from Ian Knight in the live tap. Jacob Fatu, Roman, or CM Punk and John Cena. I think Jacob Fatu is not in the final four, but I think he eliminates the most people. And if he is in the final four, it's because he was in the final five and he eliminated Roman Reigns.
He's going to eliminate Roman.
Yeah.
Like even I think I see it as Jacob gets eliminated, gets pissed, runs back in, gets Roman over, and they're kicking up and they're starting their heat. Let's say Roman's in a story. He doesn't need to be part of John Cena's thing. He doesn't need to be part of CM Punk's thing. He doesn't need part of even Cody Rhodes' thing.
I think he does. Yeah. I think
not now.
You don't fight him a third time in a row?
Not yet.
Oh, I do.
Not for WrestleMania.
Dog, I've been to those last two WrestleManias though, and I'm telling you, like when Cody loses at the first one, the crowd loses. When Cody wins at the second one, the crowd wins. Like you do this in Vegas? Oh my gosh.
In a fairly weathered temperature to Vegas.
It's inside.
Oh, even better. Like if you, like the weather really ruined night one for WrestleMania.
The Philadelphia one?
Yeah.
Nah, it was fine.
I don't know, man. You're cooped up in a box, bro.
Yeah.
They try to keep you in a box, man. And you said no.
It was fine. I sat ringside on the second night.
Yeah,
It was fun.
I love that.
The Logan Paul will get eliminated by Pat McAfee. Write that down. In Indianapolis.
That's a McAfee pop.
Yeah, that's a McAfee pop. Everyone hates Logan Paul. He's the best at being hated.
So, question on this, man. Talking about, I know that we're running out of time soon, but someone brought up if it's good for business, the difference between being a good heel or just you're just hated, bro.
I don't know the difference.
Ooh, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Like Logan Paul has like some of the more genuine heel reactions.
Yeah,
but
he went
people
to
are
Trump's inauguration.
he was. Dude.
Like, no one wants him. No one wants him around. Like
Oh man, yeah.
like he's top tier. You hate him because you hate him. You hate Dominic Mysterio because it's fun. Like
Yeah.
you hate Logan Paul because look at him. Because of his YouTube channel and his brother and his political affiliations and his meme coins. You hate him because he's an awful person who's incredibly athletic and good at microphone stuff.
He's so good. You hate him because you want to be him. That's the part. A lot of people want to be him, and they hate that.
Do you see Dolph Ziggler in the Royal Rumble?
I don't know who that is. Oh, Mr. Nemeth.
Yeah. Go. I don't know who that is.
Dolph Nemeth. That would be an insane moment. Get in there, have 10 minutes, get out, get his paycheck. Oh, that'd be beautiful. I would love to see JBL come in and just clothesline a bunch of people.
He's been doing some indie stuff lately.
He's been doing. He's that guy that's just playing the side missions after he's completed the game.
He's going to pre-show. I do think you get a broadcaster. I think you get Pat McAfee. It would be cool if Wade Barrett went out there. I don't think he will. And then I've reading a ton of stuff. By the way, everything's a work. Like wrestling fan who thinks it's not. Wrestling fan who actually thinks Corey Graves is upset about being moved broadcast booth. Pro wrestling fan who thinks Corey Graves is not the fit anymore because the internet told him Corey Graves' neck is a lot better than Corey Graves' neck used to be, and he's about to wrestle again. And that's how they're getting him here. Like
there's gonna be Corey Graves and Bad News. That's gonna be a moment. That would be a great moment.
If Corey Graves got the call, yeah. People would love that. Because that's the crowd that would love it because they remember him from years ago because this crowd travels. This is a worldwide crowd. This is a pro wrestling crowd. This is not, a Tuesday night house show in Paducah.
Shout out to Paducah.
No, do not shout out Padukes.
Hey, man. I love all the people. Sally loves all because all love Sally.
How does that apply to anything right here?
Anything and everything applies to anything. By the way, it'll be a fun first and second entry for Royal Rumble.
Give it to me.
New Day. And then we have a few people who just like happen to be seen, and then eventually Big E comes in.
I don't hate it.
I got one.
All I want to do is hear 60 banger intro songs. That's all I want. Like, let me pop 60 times. Like, and I'll be in the broadcast booth, of the press area or whatever when I'm there. So I don't overreact to these things, but there are people who do.
Oh my gosh, there are, man.
They'd love it.
Like we love the game. We love the industry. We're all about it. But man,
the whole media game's super changed from when I started 20 something years ago. It's like I'm going to the Super Bowl next week, right?
Yeah.
So I'm at the Super Bowl all week, and there are so many media affiliates that of the 250 tables wherever they set up, like people are doubled up on them. Like I'm with Sports Broadcast USA, which is who does like NFL football games and stuff. And it's like, you have these moments where you're like, if it's a podcast or a blog or an Instagram or a whatever, right? There's just so many ways to access the thing that you like, and you can specifically access it from a personality that you like. You know, it's not like you have to, you hate Chris Berman, but you have to watch him for your NFL whatever. Like, that doesn't exist anymore. Like, if you hate Chris Berman, you can watch the NFL somewhere else. Like, it's incredible the different lanes you can go down to get to where you want to be as a pro wrestling fan.
Now, does that help out the accessibility to the product, and or even like where you can get your your flavor of news or information and stuff? Because there still are some of the you still got the dirt sheets that still do the thing, and then you got Uncle Dave Meltzer doing his thing, and then
well, and that's a good example because I don't read any of that stuff. And I think for me, a lot of my fandom is based in how I don't. A lot of my fandom is like, did they go the way that I would have gone? Like, do I have, because I own a pro wrestling thing. So I'm like, well, here's how I would book it. Here's what I would do. This would be my approach. Like, did they do the thing I would do? Often they don't. I don't have a clue. Like, I don't know what is up. I would
is that
put
a good thing or bad thing?
Bad. I wish I knew better. And that's the thing too. It's like the second that John Cena announces his year-long retirement, I put him in the Hall of Fame. Like, that's in my head what you do. But also that's stupid, right? Because people are going to come out to see him. If you put him in the Hall of Fame next year, they're going to come out again. Like, oh, okay, smart move. Like, I'm just looking for like super iconic moments instead of reoccurring monetary gain moments, which is probably what you should be looking for. Smarter than me.
I don't know, man. Well, yeah, Hall of Fame, and then like kicking off even more so his victory lap. That'd be fun, actually.
Who do you got? All right, last one. Who you got winning the men's Royal Rumble?
Punk.
Jacob Fatu steals the show.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I think he will too.
I'm so excited.
60,000 tickets sold.
Oh, man, that's a big gate.
I called my hotel today. I was like, hey, I was just looking at my thing, I just want to make sure I got the right, number of beds or whatever. And they're like, well, you better, because we're sold out.
Like, I still got my stuff, right? Or am I?
Well, for the worst audio quality episode that we've ever done, Sully, you will figure it out in the future.
Absolutely, Oprah.
For everyone who stuck around with us throughout, thank you for doing it. We had a lot of fun. If we're going to spend a Friday night, I like spending it with you guys. It's a big deal. It means a lot to me. I am catching a flight first thing. I'll be in the air during the airing of this. Sully, give us your final words before we cut this one loose.
Safe travels, my man.
That's kind.
We have a lot of work to do when you come back.
I'll need a whole week to recover from NOLA. I'll need a whole week.
But you ain't getting it.
The next Duke City Championship Wrestling show is February the 22nd, February the 22nd at the historic El Rey Theater. Tickets available at dccwtickets.com. The biggest announcement in the history of Duke City Championship Wrestling, February 22nd. For Sully Taylor, for myself, Fred Slow. Good job, everyone. Keep breathing.